Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Exercise Engineer. This week we are talking about a topic that has been requested for so long now, and I know a lot of people, especially through Instagram, are messaging me about this topic in particular. It is fueling for success, fueling for your performance, recovery and results. And I'm just going to quickly say, if you are watching this on the YouTube version, you will see that I am sitting in a big sun trap in my living room, and honest to God, I am sweating already. So hopefully it won't get any hotter than this. But I'm going to just continue anyway. So the thing is, you can be working out super hard. You can be doing all the runs, all the workouts, all the strength training that you want, but you are only going to be as good as what you are eating. So today we're going to break down exactly how to fuel your body for that peak performance, and also to make sure you have a faster recovery so you can go just as hard in your next sessions after that as well. I definitely never used to fuel adequately. I would say adequately. Like, I've always been someone who eats a lot. It's just never usually made like the right thing. So at one point I cut out all carbs on an evening. There was a big phase of my life where I cut out a lot of fats as well, even those good fats. Definitely not necessarily scared of them, but really just avoided them at all costs, even down to things like nuts and seeds and avocado and like all the things that we know are super good for us. And then there was even a point where I avoided protein shakes because I was just like, that powder can't be good. But all of these things in moderation obviously are going to be absolutely fine, and they're actually going to help us recover more and obviously then perform a lot better there as well. I think especially in this marathon block, carbs, I've never eaten so many carbs in my life trying to not injure myself, because every marathon block before this one, fingers crossed so far so good, I have injured myself, and I put it down to lack of recovery. So that is down to sleep and stretching and also nutrition, because every marathon block I enter, I think, oh, this would be so much easier if I just lose a little bit of weight. And yes, technically that is true, but it's so difficult to increase your running load, try and recover from that while being in a calorie deficit. And I think that's what's then injured me in those previous things. So this time I haven't focused on trying to lose weight at all, and solely focused on really trying to fuel to perform, and then so I can push myself harder in those sessions. And yes, a little bit of fat loss might be a byproduct of all of that, but I've really focused on increasing my carbohydrates this block. And I think for years and years, these past few months, I have never eaten so many carbs in my life. Like, I'm getting through about 3 bagels a day at the moment, and it is, which seems ridiculous, but with the amount of running I'm doing, so I'm up to 85 kilometers this week of running, plus my 3 strength sessions a week, plus my conditioning sessions. It is a lot. So I need to really make sure that I am refueling properly. And I know that I've been helping a lot of my clients at the moment with their fueling as well. So I want you to learn from this, like some strategies, pre and post workout meals that you should be having. Hydration tips is huge as well. We're going to cover a little bit of myth busting when it comes to your nutrition, and then I'm going to give you some practical advice as well, depending on what fitness goal you are working towards. Okay, so I think first we will start off with why nutrition is going to be the foundation of our performance. And I'm going to start off with carbs, because carbs are life, and they are our body's primary energy source. They are huge for running, strength, hybrid, whatever you are training for, your body will love if you are fueling it with carbs. We break it down really well, especially any plain, quite simple carbohydrates. We break that down really well. So I stick to a lot of simple carbs pre-long runs and lots of pre-workout things as well. But I've actually changed my whole nutrition in terms of when I eat, and I'll cover that more slightly later on. But I eat before every single workout now, whereas I used to train completely fasted. Now I'm just like, nah, not worth it. I'd rather eat a little bit and then perform to my absolute max. So really important that we do have enough carbs in our diet. We need to think of carbs as like the fuel in our tank. Like without them, we are going to be running on an empty tank, and we don't want that. So you need to be having at least half of your daily intake from carbohydrates. So for example, oh my god, I'm going to do some quick math in my head here, which is not, it never goes well. I don't know why I attempt to do this every week. But say you're on 2,000 calories a day, we need to be having 50 to 55% of that, depending on how much exercise you are doing, sometimes a little bit more. 50% of that needs to be from carbs. So you need to be having 1,000 calories worth of carbohydrates. So divided by 4, because there are 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate, divide that by 4, 250 grams. Oh my god, quick math. There you go, gal, done it. 250 grams of carbs minimum per day if you're eating about 2,000 calories a day. That's just a little bit of quick math. Obviously, that will vary from person to person. That depends on how many calories you're eating. That depends how big you are, how old you are, if you are male, if you are female, your age, your weight, how much muscle you have, how much you are moving on a daily basis, how much how many workouts you're doing, how intense the workouts are. Obviously, that is a huge variable, but that is a rough guide for now to go off. And if you do want help with any of this, there is a calorie calculator in the show notes or in my Insta bio that will help you decide on your calories first, and then you can work out your macros after that. So as I said, 50 to 60% of your daily calories should come from carbohydrates. Okay, moving on to what I think is dare I say the second most important macro. Like, people would argue they're all just as important, which yes, they are, but protein, especially if we are trying to get that leaner look at the same time, especially if we are strength training, especially if we are running, if we are active people, you need to get your protein in. It is essential for muscle repair, recovery, everything like that. So you need to be aiming for between 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. So that, as I said, with the carbs, that equates to between 20 to 30% of your daily intake. Again, depending on how much you're eating, how many strength sessions you're doing, how many runs you are doing. But it's a good rough guide to go off. It is so important to replace your protein, especially after you have used your muscles, especially if you are damaging them. That's literally what happens when you lift weights. You are tearing those muscles, then you need to repair them, and that's how they then build. So really make sure you have your protein afterwards. I do recommend at least 20 grams per meal. Obviously try and get a little bit more than that. But no, I aim for at least 140 grams of protein per day at the moment. So as you can tell, if I'm getting plenty of carbs in, a lot of carbohydrates do still have a lot of protein in as well. So I'm looking at bagels at the moment, about 300 calories. You've got 9 to 10 grams of protein in there. So don't just think your protein is coming from only protein shakes, meats, eggs, things like that. Other items do have your protein in there as well. So don't panic and think, oh my God, I'm just going to turn into a steak. Like, there are so many other foods that you can eat if you don't just want to eat meat. There's loads that will build up to that. So yeah, that obviously depends on your training intensity. And then obviously our final macronutrient is fats. This is going to support your long-term energy as well. And most importantly for women, our hormone regulation. So this is something as I said before, cut out for quite a long period of time, and it's not good, because hormones fly all over the gaff. I lost my period for quite a large amount of time, and I don't put that down to losing too much weight, which is usually the reason you would lose your period, because I've been leaner before and still had my period. So I put it down to A, probably overtraining, B, not recovering well enough, and C, not including any of those healthy fats in my diet as well, which help to regulate hormones. So when I say healthy fats, if you're watching on the video, I am using like quotation marks with my fingers. Healthy fats like avocado, nuts, olive oil, they are your secret weapon, really. But I will just say, obviously in a non-triggering way for those listening, that you can easily rack up your calories with high fat foods. So with carbs and protein, you're looking at 4 calories per gram. With fats, it's up to 9. So it's quite a big jump. You're getting a lot less volume of food for your actual calories. So just careful on those, especially if you are tracking, make sure you are weighing out stuff like that. But yes, let's try not get too obsessed like I did. Don't fully cut them out altogether. They are super, super important, especially for us gals. So yeah, what will happen if you do neglect any of those macronutrients? You will be technically underfueling and you will feel fatigued, you'll have poor recovery, you are increasing your risk of injury tenfold, and you may also end up with mental burnout as well. Like, as I said before, and I think a few of my clients have had this previously as well, you get reoccurring injuries, and especially when it came to things like running and shin splints, I found that once I tackled my sleep and nutrition, I'm much less likely to get shin splints and hurt my shins. My calves don't blow up as much. Yes, and then, especially then sleep, nutrition, and then I get dry needling as well. I used to get it weekly, but I don't get it weekly anymore, but I do definitely recommend releasing the muscles in that way as well, whether that's a massage. You can get a Theragun for home, you can get someone at home to just massage it out for you, or if you can go get some needling done, would recommend. I love it. Like, it's bloody painful, but Christ, it's good. Oh, the sun has stopped beaming down in my face and it feels lovely. That's just a little quick breather. But yeah, you will also potentially suffer from mental burnout there as well, because your energy is trying to be used elsewhere and you need the energy in your brain just as well as your body. So yeah, the difference is huge. If you're used to exercising and working out under-fueled, the minute you fuel, you are going to feel incredible. And I don't think I can emphasize that enough. You will feel unstoppable, dare I say it, unstoppable. But then depending on your style of training will depend on how you are going to tailor your nutrition. So if you are mainly just a strength girly, you need to focus more and more on your protein, and I say your carbs there as well. You need to make sure you've got enough energy in your body to repair the muscles, and also enough protein in there to repair the muscles and fuel the workouts, I suppose, as well with the carbs. If you are mainly running and endurance, you need to prioritize carbs, absolutely, and also your hydration. I think I did quite a bit of research into Ironman nutrition and hydration, because my flatmate is doing one in, a few weeks. Oh my God, it's next weekend. Anyway, we can interview her after that. So huge on hydration, because if you are dehydrated, that is what's going to affect your performance first. I remember, I don't know if I've told you guys about this already, but when I was back in London, I was watching my friend do, I think, is it the Hackney Half or something, and she didn't know I was going to watch her, and she turned the corner, and I was just like, oh my God, yeah, let's go. I'm not going to say her name just in case she's embarrassed, but you know who this is if you are listening. And then she fully collapsed right in front of me. She didn't know I was there. Maybe she heard me shout, I don't know, but she like fully collapsed in front of me, and we put it down to dehydration. She hadn't drunk enough. Like, yes, she said she'd only had a really small breakfast, but usually the thing that's going to make your body physically collapse is lack of hydration, lack of water, because you cannot you struggle to digest the carbs in the first place, and you'll see a lot of people at marathons vomiting on the side because they're trying to take too many gels without hydrating, and the mixture of the glucose in the stomach with like other carb drinks is not good and will really mess up your stomach. So you need plain water in there as well. Sometimes a little bit of electrolytes will just help you hydrate yourself a little bit quicker as well. But all the things that you see going wrong at races, cramp, collapse, vomiting, all those things are usually down to lack of hydration, so dehydration. So huge emphasis on that if you are doing endurance training as well. If you are doing a lovely mixture of hybrid training, especially for high rocks, things like that, then you need to get a good balance of your carbs, protein and fats and hydration, and just do the whole whammy to really make sure you are sustaining your energy for both the strength side and the cardio. So let's just talk a little bit more specifically about what you should be eating pre and post workout. So pre-workout depends on your timings. Obviously, if you are getting up to go to the gym at 5 a.m, I don't expect you to get up 3 hours before this and have a bloody breakfast at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, that is not what I'm saying here. But in an ideal world, if you can eat 1 to 3 hours before your training, especially anything that's going to be really intense or like a long run, anything like that, if you can eat at least 1 to 3 hours before that, things like what to eat, carbohydrates, so oats, banana, toast, honey, anything that's got light protein in it as well. You can have Greek yogurt, you can have a little protein shake there if you want. But what I want you to avoid before are things with heavy fats in them, anything with fiber that's going to just take that little bit longer to digest. You might end up with digestive discomfort if you do have things like that. So, for example, on a morning, I would have either like a bagel with banana and honey on it. You can have a small scoop of peanut butter on there, jam, anything that's going to just digest that little bit quicker. Would recommend that. Yeah, so as I said, try and avoid heavy, fatty foods because that's just going to take ages to digest and it's not going to be nice at all. Post-workout, try and get it within 1 to 2 hours after your training. So again, as I said, high protein, that needs to be 20 to 30 grams. You can get that from things like chicken, eggs, from a protein shake, protein bars. You need to get some form of carbs in there as well. You're so much better off refueling your carbohydrate stores as quickly as you can. There's been lots of studies that shown that you are more likely to restore a lot quicker and recover faster if you get carbs in quicker, especially after those long runs where you're almost like fully depleted from your glycogen stores. So sweet potatoes, rice, fruit, and then obviously get some electrolytes in there as well if you've been sweating super heavy. My go-to is usually, I'm going to say a bagel again, like eggs and avocado on a bagel, or like something where you go out for brekkie with your mates and there's some form of bread, some form of eggs, some form of deliciousness on the side. Get a coffee, a smoothie, just making sure you've got at least 20 to 30 grams of protein on that plate. Add in some extra eggs if you need to. Get some like grilled chicken or something on the side. Mwah, delicious. And then obviously your hydration, super important that you are drinking water before, during and after. So I know a lot of people are going for this really strange approach of trying to not drink during their workouts because they think during high rocks there's no time for water. There is time. Don't worry. I've had a drink every single time I've gone and done a race. Don't just completely disregard it. You might actually do slightly better if you do choose to stop for some water, even if it's only once or twice. Research has shown that your heart rate will likely come down if you hydrate yourself more. Or is it in the reverse, that your heart rate is more likely to spike more the more dehydrated you get? So you're better off just topping that up, and then you can just regulate your heart rate that little bit more. You don't want it hitting 170, 180 and just having to hold that shit. No, don't aim for that. So if we can keep it down through hydration, through controlled breathing, through managing those expectations on your pacing on the exercises, managing efficiency of the exercises there as well, would recommend. Then also, so yeah, electrolytes 100%. So you can literally just mix water. You can make your own. Like, you don't need to buy the expensive drinks. Literally water, get a bit of salt in there, squeeze of lemon, or that can be just as effective as an electrolyte drink you can buy from the shop. Oh, who do I follow? Oh, Natasha Ocean, however you pronounce your name. I'm so sorry if I've pronounced that incorrectly. She has a drink that she made, and I swear it's literally like water, maple syrup, salt, and maybe some lemon juice or something in there as well, and you shake it all up. I don't quote me on that, but it's definitely got maple syrup in it, and she makes it as her own electrolyte drink, and I think it sounds delicious. I'm yet to try it, but I will definitely try that and give it a go. So yeah, those are like the main things you need to be eating before and after. Obviously, don't eat too much before. You're going to feel sick during your workouts. But then if you are going for a super long run, I always make sure that I am waking up early in order to have a slightly bigger carb-heavy meal before, and making sure I've got time to digest that as well. Definitely recommend, especially if you are doing double sessions, that post-workout refuel is so important. The quicker you can get that in, the quicker you can recover and get ready for your next workout as well. So really, really important. Okay, I'm just going to debunk some common nutrition myths now. I think these are really important because a lot of these come to me as, oh my God, I can't do this, or like, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, no, what a load of crap. Obviously, everyone is slightly different, but there are still rules that we can abide by. So, myth, you need to cut out carbs to lose fat. What a load of balls. Oh my God, I thought this for so long, and I'm there with you. If you still believe that, that is okay, and that is what I am here for, because dare I say, I spent years and years believing this. It was like, no carbs before marbs. Like, that's a whole advert in itself, and it's just a load of crap. Carbs are so essential for our performance, especially if we are active individuals. I don't know if I can emphasize this any more than I already have. Carbs are not the enemy. They are not. I don't know why we all think they are. I think with carbs, because water like attaches to them, like we get extra water modules, you may still feel slightly puffier because you're holding on to slightly more water than you would without the carbs, but you need the carbs to perform well, so ignore that slight bit of water weight. The key is portion control and timing, so making sure you are having your carbs before and after your workout. And then as long as you are having enough carbs over the whole day, depending on what workouts you've got the next day, that is down to you how you eat your carbs the rest of the day. But as long as you have got your carbs in and around the workout zone, hugely recommend that you can do this. You can still lose fat and eat a crap load of carbs. I promise, I am living proof of it right now. I am doing so much running, but I am eating so many carbs. You actually would be quite shocked at how many carbs I'm eating. I'm not going to divulge any further into that because I don't think we need to cover how many calories worth of bagels I'm getting through. That's not the point. But even things like pizza. I had pizza last week. I had a burger last night. It's not the enemy. It's not the enemy, I promise. But what I did do, I had a burger last night, and then instead of getting the chips on the side, I ordered a side salad, and it felt so much better. I didn't walk away from that meal feeling grim. I felt fantastic. I had 2 Coke Zeros instead of beers, and then it was a double beef burger with a crap load of cheese on it, and then some really nice rockets with balsamic glaze, and then I'm pretty sure there was like some red onion relish, something going on in there between the 2 patties that was just exquisite. I feel like I've really gone into detail there, but I'm just saying you can still go out and enjoy the foods that you don't think that you're allowed and still be fine. And you use the extra energy if you think, oh, I've really eaten too much today. I'm not saying go burn it off. I'm saying use that energy to work harder in your next session. That's the key. And just don't feel guilty about it. It's food. It's not the enemy. It's going to help us fuel. Anyway, I'll move on from that one. Okay, next myth is protein powder is a must for recovery. So I've seen a lot of trying to be funny memes out there, and it's like, is it even worth it's funny, like the Strava one, like, did you even go for a run if it's not on Strava? Like, is it even worth going to the gym if you don't have a protein powder after? It's a load of shite. It's honestly a load of crap. There are so many other foods out there that you'll be able to get your protein needs from. Obviously, protein powders, super convenient, really beneficial in terms of getting it in nice and quick. Sometimes you can't really stomach a full meal after an intense workout, but a nice protein powder, especially the clear ways at the moment, which are just like the light juicy ones, would definitely recommend. The ones I get at the moment are absolutely delicious. I get it from Athena, which is it's not women's only, but it's created for women. It's got extra collagen in it. A lot of their protein bars have extra calcium and iron in them. Would 10 out of 10 recommend any of those. You're getting your extra supplements in there as well, especially for us women. It's literally created by women athletes for athletic women. So 10 out of 10 would recommend all of their products. They do things like creatine, they do electrolytes, they do protein powders, they do protein bars. Have a look. I think it should be in the show notes anyway. My link to getting any of their stuff, would definitely recommend. I don't know if it's only Australia. Just have a little check on that one. Apologies if it is for my UK and America girlies, or wherever you are in the world. Welcome. But no, if you're on the go, then a protein shake is absolutely fantastic, and I would definitely recommend it. But don't underestimate the power of whole foods, eggs, lean meats. There are so many other ways to get in your protein afterwards. It just depends what you can stomach, where you are. If you are going to grab something on the go, it doesn't matter. So that leads us nicely into the next myth, which is you must eat immediately after your workout, or it's like not even worth doing, which is also, it is, but it isn't a load of crap. So we do have an anabolic window in which it was told to us that if you don't refuel within that anabolic window, then your workout was a load of crap and it was a waste of time. It's not as strict as we once thought. Yes, it still technically exists, and it does get more important the older you get, but that window, it's not a 20-minute window. It's more like 2 hours. So as long as you are having some form of protein and carbs in that 2-hour window after your workout, then you're absolutely fine. Don't panic and think you've literally got to inhale the first bit of protein that you see straight after the workout. You don't need to do that. So if you've had a balanced pre-workout meal, you're fueled, like your body is digesting that food still, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to rush to eat straight away. As I said, you have got up to a couple of hours. So don't panic too much about that one. And then final myth I'm going to cover is that fats should be avoided around your workouts. And it's not technically true, but as I said before, fats do digest a lot slower. So you are better off consuming them outside of your workout window. Meaning the rest of the day, absolutely fine. You've got plenty of time to digest them. You're not going to get an upset stomach. Like, you can eat loads of fat before a workout if you want to. It's not the end of the world. Like, you don't need to technically avoid them. But as I said before, they do digest a lot slower. So if you don't want to feel a bit gross while you're working out, then I would not fully avoid them, but I would reduce the fat intake. Definitely for that. Okay, so let's discuss some practical tips then for your nutrition. Obviously, depending on your goals, we want to adjust our macros and calories accordingly. So if your goal is weight loss, like, we're going to just sort of scrap performance for now. If your goal is weight loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit and maintain enough protein so that your body doesn't use your muscle as energy, as it will break down anything that it can get its hands on in order to create energy for your body. So if you are in a calorie deficit and you don't want your body to start breaking down your muscle, make sure you've got enough protein in. Protein will also help keep you fuller for longer, so you are much less likely to then snack more, and then you'll make your calorie deficit a lot easier to maintain if you've got enough protein in your diet there as well. Lots of fiber, lots of healthy fats there as well. If your goal is muscle gain, again, needs to be depending on how quickly you want to try and build muscle or weight gain or anything like that, you need to be in a calorie surplus. If you want to do it in a very lean way and only build lean muscle, you only need to be in a 100 to 200 calorie surplus, which isn't that much. That's like an extra banana a day, or like, obviously more protein based, 1 protein bar a day or something like that. It's not actually that much extra on top of your maintenance calories. Again, big focus on carbohydrates and protein if you want to put on lots of muscle. Then obviously, if your goals are endurance based, I definitely recommend high carbs. Always, always, always high carbs. I don't really need to go into much more detail on that. I feel like I have covered carbohydrates for those big long sessions in enough detail right there. So practical tips as well for all of those is your meal prepping. So batch cooking, big things like protein, so your chicken, tofu. If you can batch cook, make it easier for yourself, store in the fridge, reheat it later. Pre-portioning your snacks out, so things like nuts especially, fruit, boiled eggs, squares of chocolate, things like that. If you pre-portion all those snacks out, it'll make it so much easier because you'll know how many calories you're then eating, you'll know how many carbs you've got, blah, blah, blah. And literally, like, I used to set aside 2 hours every Sunday to prep my meals for the whole week. It is honestly game changing, especially when I had a full-time job. Slightly different now, the fact that I can work from home, I go to cafes, I don't need to meal prep. I do, it's quite nice getting up from my desk to go make some food. So I don't do it as much anymore, but when I was working a full-time job, it is game changing. Turning up to work with your lunch, with your pre-portioned snacks, knowing that you've got meals to come home to as well after a long day is also game changing, especially if you go to the gym like straight after work, or you go to the gym on the way to work, having like your pre-made breakfast that you know is going to hit your macros, you know it's going to hit your calories, you know it's going to refuel you. You don't want to have to panic about getting your refuel back in and then going to find something on the go. Much better off just having it all there and ready, pre-portioned. You know that you're going to be hitting your calories. You know there's no hidden oils or salts in there. Really, really important. I think a practical tip, which I know a lot of us struggle to do, but is listening to your body as well. So when I get clients come to me, especially with help with nutrition, it is very much trial and error. Obviously, I can give you as many guidelines as you can. I can set up how many carbs you should be eating a day, how many protein, and like give you meals to work towards those and make sure you are hitting those. If you feel underfueled, so you are fatigued, you've got mood swings, you are lacking progress, chances are you are underfueling. You're getting injured, like, and it is a trial and error process, because we don't know exactly how many calories your body is burning. We can estimate it 1,000 times over. It doesn't give us exactly what your body is burning. We only know from how you feel and how you are performing. So it very much is right, have this for a couple of weeks. How are you feeling? How's your performance? Do you feel fueled? Are you feeling bloated? Because that's another one. Maybe we're giving you slightly too much fuel and you're feeling bloated, you've put on a little bit of weight, maybe you feel a little bit lethargic. Obviously, women out there, we've got our hormones which fluctuate, so we can't just go off 1 or 2 weeks. We've got to sort of get an overview for the whole month, or like our whole 28-day cycle. Because yes, some weeks we're going to feel like crap, whether we eat well or not. So we just got to make sure we take that all into account. But yeah, listen to your body. If you think you are underfueling because you feel like you have no energy for your workouts or your runs, chances are you are underfueling. So just start by adding in one small snack. Like I said, just add in an extra banana before or after your workout, or half a banana before, half a banana after. And then continue with the rest of your day as usual. Little things like that you can easily add in just to check and give you that little bit of extra energy there as well. Yeah, I think, listen, if you're feeling sluggish during your workouts, just tweak your carb intakes there as well. But yeah, nutrition for race days, I covered this a lot more in the last episode because we went through half marathons. But my top tip for race day fueling is make sure you've practiced whatever you're going to have the morning of. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Don't try something new on the day. Just don't do it. Your body's not ready. Don't do it. Like, I know easier said than done. We all get carried away. It's like, oh, I'll just have an extra Red Bull. Or I'll just have an extra gel that I've not tried before. Oh, I'm going to completely change up my breakfast because Sue said she was having this. No. Just stick with what you know. Stick with what your body knows how to digest. The same number of hours before your long runs. Start practicing that meal as soon as you know that that's what you want. And then review. How did you perform on that long run? Could you have pushed a little bit harder? Or did you feel really bloated and sluggish? Maybe don't have that next time and try something else and see how you feel. Like, use your long runs in the build up to a race day as tests for what you should be eating on the day of race day. And then definitely like a carb heavy dinner the night before. Again, practice it. If you know you've got a long run tomorrow, so I've got 26Ks to run on Sunday, I'm going to be having a carb heavy meal that Saturday night. I'm going to wake up, see how I felt, see how well that digested, have my usual race day morning fuel, and then assess during the run, how do I feel? Blah, blah, blah. You get it. Anyway, I feel like I'm really blabbing on for this now. But there was a few little Q&A questions I'm just going to quickly cover, specifically on nutrition. So what is the best snack for long runs? So again, this comes down to more of a preference thing. Loads of people love eating like sweets, jellies, lollies, anything that's just pure sugar, fantastic. The only issue I have sometimes with something chewy is if I'm trying to hit pace, I really struggle to breathe and chew and swallow. So I don't love having something chewy in my mouth. If you can practice with, or if you've got like a station if you're doing laps of something, and you can have a Powerade on the side, which has your electrolytes in there and your glucose. Obviously, make sure you have water with that as well. Or you can carry gels. I do recommend those. Again, if you are practicing for a race and you know you're going to take gels on the day, practice with gels in some of your long runs. I'm not saying you need to have them, like if I go for a long run, I am absolutely not taking 6 gels. It's so expensive. I'm not saying that, but I might have one in there just to practice running with it, practice digesting it as I'm trying to run. Definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, I don't have full meals for my long runs. I have my bagel, banana, honey before, let that settle for at least an hour, and then I'll have either a gel or a Powerade or something else along those lines. Actually, mid long run. How do I manage cravings without derailing my progress? So again, as I said, if you've got high protein, high fiber, high fat, those things take longer to digest, so you will technically stay fuller for longer. Having your pre-portioned snacks, things that you know you're going to eat, things like if your favorite thing is chocolate, build chocolate into your day, so you don't just have this, oh my god, not allowed it, not allowed it, not allowed it. Don't have it for 3 days and then bang, eat a family-sized bar of chocolate in one go. I know we all do it. I'm not outing you at all, but build it into your day. I have four squares of dark chocolate after my evening meal every night on the sofa because I love it. I love dark chocolate. Why would I not have it in my everyday life? Do you know what? I had some for breakfast this morning. Don't care. I've got 2 very intense sessions today. Need all the carbs. Get it in there. And yes, without it derailing your progress, I see it as fuel. So as long as you are building it into your macros, and again, that is where I would come in and help and be like, right, you love eating this, let's build that into your day here. And make it fit into your calorie intake, make it fit into your macros, and it's fine. And then it won't derail you. So yeah, notice what you're craving. Are you craving sweet, sugary things? Chances are you're lacking energy. Did you have enough sleep last night? That will hugely help your cravings and snack management if you are sleeping enough. Huge, huge, huge. Because if you wake up having not slept enough, your body is going to crave energy. And it will crave energy through things like food and sweet things. If you are craving salty things, chances are you need to have some electrolytes. So just have an electrolyte drink and get your salts in that way, or have some salty foods. Just don't have, I'm saying don't have with quotation marks, snacks for the sake of it. If you are craving sugar because you're lacking energy, have some. If you're craving salts because you are dehydrated, have loads of water, have some salts in it. Like, try those things first, because it's just, cravings are usually just your body's natural response to you being deficient in something. That's all it wants. So just give it what it needs in a healthy form, if you can. And last one I'm going to cover is, are cheat meals okay? I don't like to call them cheat meals because I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. I want to build it into my everyday life. So, as I said, I had a burger last night. Yes, you might be like, Lou, but it's Thursday. That means you went out for a burger on a Wednesday night. Yes. Yes, I did. And you know what? I feel fantastic. I feel so good. And I don't care. And that's the beauty of building things like that into your daily intake, or like buildings like that's living proof that you can still socialize, you can stick to a relatively good diet and exercise regime and still manage to go out and enjoy pub night. Yes, I had Coke Zeros. I didn't have beers like the rest of them. That's okay. Yes, I had a burger, but I switched my fries for a side salad, which wasn't really a salad, it was just rocket. Absolutely fine, I'm not complaining. It was bloody delicious. I put the rocket and the gherkins in the burger. 10 out of 10. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. But yes, cheat meals are okay, but I don't like to call them cheat meals. And I think the minute you call it a cheat meal, you think, oh, it's fine, it's a cheat meal. I'm going to eat as much as I possibly can in one go. And then you're more likely to just completely derail yourself. Whereas if you build these so-called cheat meals into your weekly life, like I say this every week, I have a weekly ice cream. I go to Messina once a week. I've built that into my weekly intake. It's not a cheat meal. Yes, it's a treat. I can say it's a treat, but it's a weekly treat that I know that I'm having. So I don't go completely balls to the wall and want ice cream every day because I feel like I live on holiday. That's sort of why I set that first limit at the start, but it's a lovely weekly treat that I have. So yes, you can have cheat meals, just don't call them cheat meals and don't treat it like you would a cheat meal. Just build it into your everyday life and you'll be absolutely fine. That is why working with a coach, you can build those things in. It's like, because it's been the bank holiday weekends, I've had a lot of my clients be like, going out for bottomless brunch with the girls, this is the menu, what do you recommend that I get? What alcohol is best? Guys, there's so many carbs and calories in alcohol, just a pre-warning. A lot of us don't think about it, but that's a different topic for a different day. But just always just monitor it, Have a Coke Zero, then have a cocktail, then have a Coke Zero, then a cocktail. Like, spread it out, or like have a lime soda and then a vodka lime soda and then a lime soda. And then if someone asks what you're drinking, you say vodka lime soda. Next round's on you. Get them to get the alcoholic one. Then when it's your round, get yourself a little lime soda without the vodka in it. You win in. Right, that's made me sound like a proper cheapskate now, but that's the true Yorkshire lass coming out in me. And you guys are so welcome. If if you've really enjoyed this episode, please forward it on to one person you know would benefit from it. If you are intrigued about my coaching, there are links in the show notes. We've got a couple of one-to-one spaces left for my Run Strong coaching program, which comes with all your nutrition in there as well. So if you need any help with this, please just message me if you've got any questions about my coaching, any questions about anything specific. Maybe you've got a race coming up and you think it's too late to start coaching for it. I am still more than happy to help you make sure that you know how many carbs to eat before and after a race. Go listen to last week's episode if you have got a race coming up though. Would definitely recommend. It's got everything you need in there. But yes, I will love you and leave you. I think next week's episode is going to be an interview episode, which is super exciting, but don't hold me to that. One is definitely in the pipeline. I just need to pin him down to do this. Okay, I will love you and leave you there, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye.